Breaking news. Breaking news. We're here doing it live like we do whenever news breaks. The Fantasy Football Show is your one-stop shop. Jaylen Warren, named starter in Pittsburgh. Jaylen Warren has been anointed. Not 50-50 divide. I mean, there might be a 60-40 split potentially because Najee's still getting work. Obviously, they both did fairly well in week number 10. But Jaylen Warren named the team's starting running back moving forward. What does this mean for Najee? What does this mean for those of you that have Jaylen Warren on your roster? The Fantasy Football Show breaking news edition, Jaylen Warren edition, begins right now. File on in. Intro coming right if my intro would play. Intro.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new starting running back in the National Football League. Not something you can say very often at this point in the season, where you're like, okay, not only is there a decent named starter potentially being injected into fantasy football worlds and lineups everywhere, but a guy that could potentially be, I don't want to put the cart ahead of the horse here and start calling him like top 10 at the running back position. Let's call him more of a running back 2. I don't want to go near running back 1. Although the running back climate is very bleak, and one could argue that 12 overall for RBs is not out of the question for this guy going forward. But I think it's important to read the context of everything too. And we'll say this. This is from Mike Tomlin, head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, by the way. He did kind of mention, oh no, actually this was Warren, I think. He did kind of mention the night before that whatever had transpired throughout the team, he was saying that he was going to announce me and that I'm deserving of it, Warren told reporters after the Steelers beat the Green Bay Packers. Warren had 15 rushes for 101 yards and a touchdown. Let me put his stat line on screen right here. Here's his stat line over the last handful of weeks. Let me minimize this slightly and put it right there. So we're talking about this 101-yard game right here, week number 10 against the Green Bay Packers. 15 rushes, 101 yards, and a touchdown against the Packers, along with 2 catches for, where's the receptions? I thought I put the receptions on here somewhere. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I don't have I only have the rushing totals up here. 2 receptions as well. But Najee Harris also did fairly well in this game. Najee, 16 carries for 82 yards and a touchdown. Both Pittsburgh backs were targeted 4 times in week number 10. Warren ranks 3rd in the NFL in missed tackles forced. And this tackles is spelled wrong. What is this Mickey Mouse operation we have going on? Do I need to get a proofreader here? Tackles. 3rd in missed tackles forced. This man, Jaylen Warren. And if you own this man, you're in good hands right now, because now you have an excellent 3rd running back or flex option. Now, is he a high-end running back too? Maybe not. Well, it depends on how injured your team is, how injured all the RBs are moving forward. But I will say a guy like Keaton Mitchell, a guy like Jaylen Warren, who we've been talking about both these guys every single week on the Waiver Wire show. Keaton Mitchell's been here. Now this moves Jaylen Warren up. And Jaylen Warren is available in a plethora of leagues still. It's uncomfortable when you look at a Waiver Wire percentage of roster share and you see a guy like Jaylen Warren just sitting there. Jaylen Warren, I know I'm going to be shocked when I pull this up. Owned in 75% of leagues. 25% of leagues, this man is still out there, Jaylen Warren, to be had. And I don't know if you're playing, I don't know if that includes all great grandma leagues or just grandma leagues, because I don't know a league personally where Jaylen Warren's there, but 25% is a big amount of leagues. But let's pretend that we all play. Well, first of all, make sure you put in your waiver claims. Keaton Mitchell is available in a lot more leagues than that. Keaton Mitchell, I think we checked last night. Let me just make sure. It could definitely have changed. Keaton Mitchell available in 50% of leagues. I could understand somebody saying, Smitty, Warren's not available in my league. 50% of all leagues, Keaton Mitchell's available, and Keaton Mitchell wins leagues. Keaton Mitchell on our scale of odds of being the best pickup of the year, 10. 10 out of 10 rating from yours truly in terms of being a win-a-league player. If he's on waivers, which he is in 50% of leagues, 10 out of 10. You know who scored a 10 out of 10? Devon Achane. You know who also scored a 10 out of 10 in years past? Jerick McKinnon. Remember Jerick McKinnon's amazing finish to last season. Those are players. Puka Nacua would qualify as a 10 out of 10. You know who didn't make it that was a 10, 9, or 9, 8 or 9 out of 10? Roshan Johnson. You miss some, you land some. When we're swinging big on the waiver wire, DeMarcado was like a 7, 8, I believe, if I remember correctly. 7 or 8 out of 10 in terms of being a potential win-a-league player. That didn't land either. We're going to have turnover on this list. Every week, there's a different list. So you're going to land some, you're going to miss some. Keaton Mitchell feels like a surefire 10 out of 10 to win your league. And if Roshan was available, If Jaylen Warren was available, he'd probably venture around the 9 range, but Keaton Mitchell's a 10. Unbelievable to see this happen right now, to be honest. And was he, does this news really change much? I think maybe it does. I think to make this public, what it means to me is, and of course Warren helped make this public, what this means to me is that in week number 11, we might see a changeover. We might see a blossoming of Jaylen Warren. We might see a little bit of the workload divide get a little bit more sent in the direction of Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren, 60%, 65% of the workload. Do I think that maybe Najee gets dwindled down to 20%? 20%? No. Do I think he could get dwindled down to 35, 40? In between 35 and 40? Yeah. 30 and 40? Yeah. Does it stay 50-50? I don't think so. I think what this guy does, and Najee played pretty well. They both did. But this guy's so electric when he's out there. Najee's had a ton of time to produce, and it's really been kind of blandish, And he's not as quick. He's not as elusive. This guy is a tackle-breaking monster. That's why he's 3rd in the NFL in missed tackles forced. Or tackles, as we call them sometimes here on the show. Missed tackles forced. This guy is a monster. Super chat in the building. First super chat of the show always gets a standing ovation. This one's coming in strong from Carrie. Smitty, any concerns with Breece's situation? First of all, here's your standing O.
Mashed potatoes! Yeah, buddy.
Okay, we have the camera set a little bit wrong. Let's give you a proper standing O, my good man, Carrie. I'm sorry about that one. There you go, pal. Appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, there's some concern. I mean, look, am I trading Breece Hall away? Am I trading Garrett Wilson away? Maybe. Depends on what I can get. If I can get a Devontae Adams, you bet your bottom dollar I'm doing that. Would I trade away a Breece Hall for a JT? Probably. Would I trade away a Breece Hall for a Gibbs? Absolutely. Would I trade away a Breece Hall for a... Let's think creatively. Like Cooper Kupp? Sure, I would. Would I trade Breece Hall away for Puka Nacua? If I need a wide receiver, I probably would. Would I trade him away for Deebo Samuel? No, probably not. Would I trade him away for Keaton Mitchell and Deebo Samuel? Doesn't mean I don't love Breece Hall. It just means there's... Look, Robert Saleh is refusing to admit what we all know to be true, what we all know to be facts on the table here. We all know to be absolute straight facts. is that this man, Zach Wilson, is not a starting quarterback in the National Football League. Zach Wilson, a starting quarterback in the National Football League? I don't think so. But what we do know is that Breece Hall is going to pop off from time to time. But the problem is that offense is going to restrict him at times, and he's going to be inconsistent. It is what it is. We got to recognize what the situation is. And I'm not saying to sell him, just like I'm not saying for people to sell Kenneth Walker cheaply. But as I say week in and week out, after Kenny Walker has a good game, you hear me say every single week, I'm one of his biggest advocates. I love Kenny Walker. Who else has this?
Kenneth Skywalker.
No one has that. No one supports Kenny like I do, but I'm also a realist. I'm also somebody that recognizes real, recognizes momentum, recognizes situation, recognizes strength of schedule, recognizes everything, and says to you, hey, you know what? I love Kenny Walker. We're holding strong. We're going to ride the wave out. Tough schedule coming up. The Niners defense is improving back to where it was thought to be at the beginning of the year, and they play the Niners twice coming up here in the next handful of games, twice. There's some concern for Kenny Walker. And if you could trade Kenny Walker for a Cooper Kupp or a Puka Nacua or a Devontae Adams or a potential Devonta Smith or a potential Debo and Keaton Mitchell combo type of thing, then we're considering it. If we can trade a player like Breece for the same thing, we're going to consider that. That's the nature of fantasy football. My ETN for Gibbs and Javonte. This could go either way. I don't want to say one way is better than the other. ETN's been balling out all year long, bro. He's been a top 5 running back all season long. And it wasn't until just really this week that people started to say, well, is he? So, I mean, you could make a strong argument that ETN is the best player in this deal and worth a Javonte Williams to top off on a Gibbs. You could also argue that Gibbs is overtaking a lot of players, maybe including ETN going forward, but he also is still sharing a bulk of the work, so we don't fully know what his consistency is going to look like. And Javonte, hopefully Javonte keeps getting fed. But I'd say, JFam, this is a very even trade, and there's pros and cons to both sides. I hate to even weigh in on one side being significantly better than the other because I don't feel that way. I'd be forcing an answer and giving you a disservice of a question, bro. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to serve you the way I can, which is honesty, and that feels damn freaking honestly even. ETN feels like a touch safer for market value wise, but then again, Gibbs is on the climb, bro. And maybe ETN is not tradable at that value anymore after one game. People are fickle, bro. They jump ship very quickly. And I think, what happened to ETN and the entire offense for Jacksonville in week number 10 should worry a lot of people about Seattle facing the Niners twice. That's kind of my concern. $10 hauler from my boy Nico. Had one of my league mates flip out over me trading Warren for DK and started a veto campaign against me. Happy to see this ended up happening. Literally poetry. Warren running back 1, hopefully. Running back 1 fantasy, probably a little much to ask for, but I'd say a fantasy football running back 2 for sure. He's got that potential. Yeah. And to veto Warren for DK, Nico, I want you to call your commissioner on 3-way and then call into the phone line. That's ridiculous. What's up, Smitty? 16 PPR. Would you trade Garrett Wilson, Gibbs, Pitts for Eckler, Kyren? I would do that. I would Eckler and Kyren is a lot, bro. As much as I love Gibbs and as much as I love Garrett Wilson, Eckler and Kyren are the better answer here. It's the smart decision. It doesn't matter what our heart wants to say about Garrett Wilson, what we want to say about, that's a smart trade. 0.5 PPR, DJ Moore or Boyd, Mitchell or Connor must win week. I'm going to go Mitchell for right now, but let's kind of feel out the DJ Moore situation too, my broski. You know what I'm saying? David, appreciate you coming in strong. All right, phone lines are open.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Yeah, call into the Christopher Smith phone line. Really stupidity when you veto something like that. And I want you to call on a three-way, bro, with your commissioner. I want to talk to your commissioner or one of your Vinny vetoing league mates, bro. I want you to dial into this show on three-way. I want to talk to them, and I want to talk to them now. We'll take a few phone calls, and then we're gonna. We won't be here too long. I just wanted to come and break this news and see who's got a Jaylen Warren dilemma potentially. David, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show, bro. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. We got a potential audio problem again, and I think I can maybe solve it temporarily. Hold on. Let me just let me see if I can get this plugged in here. All right, go ahead. Talk again.
So I just sent you that super chat. I meant, like, if Fields plays this week, would you either go DJ Moore or Boyd with Higgins being out? And I kind of like Mitchell over Connor. It's a must-win week. Harbaugh saying they're going to try to feed Keaton Moore, so was just trying to get your thought on
Keaton Moore. You mean Keaton Mitchell? Keaton Moore. Feed Keaton Moore times, not Keaton Moore. Okay, gotcha. Name your dilemma one more time. Read it off one more time. Who we deciding between?
So DJ Moore, even if Fields plays, obviously if he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Or Tyler Boyd.
Boyd. I don't know.
With T being out.
Yeah. Boyd disappointed last week, and then he had some good play. Like, he looked good and looked bad at the same time. I think if Fields plays, you've got to go DJ Moore. I think if Fields doesn't play, I'd probably go Boyd, but that's really close. Or you're saying you have Mitchell as well?
Well, see, that's totally something different from my running back situation. I'm either Keaton or James Conner.
I was going to say I want Keaton Mitchell over this situation, but I would go Mitchell over Conner for now, but we'll have to feel out the James Conner news because there's a potential, one of those, Conner has a huge game and we're like, why did we even doubt him? They just love to run Conner. I could see that happening. The Cardinals are capable of that. But for right now, give me Keaton Mitchell. I feel like this is one of those games where you don't want to have him on your bench. I think that it could be one of those situations where, when Achane went off in week 2? I'm going to have to keep writing Mitchell because I keep erasing it, and then I keep talking about him. In week 2, remember people would come in week 3 and go, should I start him? And we're like, what do you mean should I start him? Let me guess, you didn't start him last week, so that's why you're doubting him this week because you just can't stand yourself. You don't want to be saying that about Mitchell.
I'm so excited, Smitty. I went to East Carolina, so I saw a lot of Keaton's home games in Greenville last year and the year before, and I've been holding on to Achane for the past 4 weeks, and I got CMC, so I'm ready to let those 3 guys take me to the playoffs, and, let's just run with it.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate you doing it live.
Appreciate you, Smith.
Later. Young says, can you guys hear the audio okay? I have a little makeshift thing going on, but I think the audio is probably coming in pretty clear. Smitty always to correct player names, LOL, relax, pal. What's this about? What's somebody saying here? What's going on, Young? What's somebody talking out of turn here? What do we got going on here? Let me clear these phone lines out, and then I got to get to these super chats. I got to keep you all on task here. 30 seconds only. I've got a full phone line here. Let's start off with Carl. Carl, you got 30, and that's it, pal. Then I'm hanging up. You got to get it in. TikTok. Hello, Carl. You only have 18 seconds left.
My bad, I muted myself. I need a running back in the Dynasty League, and I'm just starting Aaron Jones. I'm willing to give up Thielen. Should I target Keaton Mitchell? Should I target Gus Bus? Who should I target for Adam Thielen Dynasty wise?
All right, listen off air. Listen off air. Appreciate you. Carl's question is, well, who does he target with Thielen? Keaton Mitchell would be perfect. I think a couple other players that come to mind. Let's go to the buy list real quick for number 10 or 11 and see if we can muster up any other names. I'd say I mean, look, honestly, I kind of feel like Pollard could be had. Maybe you give up a little bit more than Thielen. Maybe you don't have to. Maybe you could give up. I mean, if Thielen had a amazing explosion type of game, I think you could do it straight up. But right now, you might not be able to. I would say Pollard is one of the best buy low running backs in fantasy football. If we go to thefantasyfootballshow.com rankings, and I just take a peek at my own rankings just to kind of refresh my memory on some RBs that might be available, and you can view these rankings at thefantasyfootballshow.com as well. Year-round rankings. January 1, these will be 2024 ready on January 1. That's how we roll. So just want you all to know that. I think maybe you could go after Aaron Jones and give up more, obviously. Mostert, maybe straight up, maybe give up more. Derrick Henry, maybe give up a little bit more. Swift for Thielen seems doable. Pacheco, Javonte, another running back that might be kind of worth, Keith Mitchell, like we said, that might be kind of worth this type of move. Ford, maybe, Jerome Ford, but I really think maybe Ramondre's worth a look, a little look-see-poo. Take a little look under the hood, kick the tires on that one a little bit. For Thielen, it makes sense if you need that kind of RB. All right, back to the phone line. This is Charles. You've got 30 seconds, Charles.
Hey, Smitty, how are you doing? Hey,
Good.
I have a question to ask you. So I'm thinking about dropping Gabe Davis for Keaton Mitchell. Would you do that?
Let me ask you a question. Did you watch my show last night?
30 seconds. No, I didn't watch it.
Okay, you gotta go watch it because
international water. Sorry.
Yeah, go watch it because the waiver wire show is gonna tell all. It's Keaton Mitchell by 100,000 miles, bro. In fact, I'm sending people on laps that even ask silly Keaton Mitchell questions. So, as much as I love you, Charles, you're going on a lap because you haven't been keeping up with the shows, Charles. I'm sorry. If you end up getting Keaton Mitchell off waivers, call my show. But while you're taking your lap, just have a big grin on your face from ear to ear. All right, I want you to say,
Okay.
"Attaboy." All right, later. TJ, you're live. You got 30.
Hey, Smitty. So, in Dynasty, I was wondering, should I trade Dameon Pierce and Rashad Bateman for Trey Tucker, a second and a fourth?
Dameon Pierce, who's not even a starter anymore. Rashad Bateman, who I wouldn't pick up if you dropped him. And who else? As you waste my marker? Pierce Bateman.
And that was it.
Pierce Bateman for who?
Yeah, Dameon Pierce.
For who?
For Trey Tucker, a second and a fourth.
I don't know.
Both 24.
I feel like you're both just making your teams worse every inch of this trade. I guess give me the Tucker and picks and then flip it, into something else. But yeah, I mean, this right here is a heap of garbage. Pierce and Bateman right now. It sucks to say because Pierce had so much potential and we loved him last year. But man, that guy's crapped the bed harder than I've seen a sophomore crap the bed in a long, long time. Maybe Watson is looking that way. But I do still believe the thing about Watson, and I know everyone's going to jump down Watson's neck and continue to think that I feel dead wrong about Watson when, look, the outcome's dead wrong. Like, I'm dead wrong on the outcome. But I'm watching Watson every single week get multiple end zone targets that are contested and thrown into his hands and defenders' hands at the same time. It's a combination of bad throws by luck, for sure. Or love. Bad throws by love. But also just pure shitty luck when that football is constantly in contention. And it's like Watson should have like 15 touchdowns. It drives me mad that the end result is just everybody saying Watson's garbage. And I know he's playing like garbage. The output is garbage. There's no way around saying Christian Watson is played like garbage fantasy-wise. But when you watch the game, you realize he should have 15 touchdowns, and maybe only one or two of them are his fault. It's so frustrating. I don't know how we got on that topic, but appreciate you, TJ. We'll see you later, pal. Donnie Bravo, you got 30.
Yo, Smitty, what's going on? I just kind of wanted to get your opinion on when it comes to the bench to have two quarterbacks and two tight ends or two defenses. Because currently I have Burrow and Fields in my IR spot, and Schultz and Ingram and Lions defense and Steelers defense. And I kind of just want to see, like, who should I be dropping?
Donnie, this is too long of a question for 30 seconds. I would say, like, in general, it depends on your team. It depends, like, do I hold 2 quarterbacks? Of course I do, normally. Would I get rid of, if the waiver wire is full of quarterbacks, am I willing to shop one? Yeah. Would I hold 3 quarterbacks? In some cases I would, especially in very deep leagues. Partly to hog them so that other owners that are getting riddled with quarterback injuries can't pick up a Joshua Dobbs right now. So there's 1,000 different components. But re-ask your question in 10 seconds, a more focalized question.
Okay, I'll just ask a different question.
Yeah.
Would you take Evan Ingram, or McBride rest of the season?
McBride. He looks so good right now, coming off a monster game last week. He's continuing to deliver no matter which quarterback is in the lineup. T-Law is struggling. The Jags are struggling. Ingram hasn't quite been the same recently, at least. I would say give me McBride. McBride looks like he's shining bright.
All right, thank you, Smith.
Yeah, all right. Hey, Donnie, call in when we open the phone lines. I'll be back at 8 p.m. too, so if you got maybe a more detailed question there, appreciate you. Hank, you got 30.
I need a first option, Hollywood or JSN.
Hollywood. I like JSN, but until JSN's getting like the lone start, you know, like if Lockett or DK are down, or we get a lot more consistency, I do like them. I don't cut them. I don't drop them or anything, but I do really like JSN. I think Hollywood's smarter right now, especially with Kyler being another game in. He'll probably connect with them. I think it'll be good.
Yep. Thank you, man.
All right, Hank, later. Appreciate you. All right, super chats. We're gonna exit phone line territory for now, guys. Did everybody hear those phone calls? Okay. Let me know if everybody could hear those phone calls. Okay, we got a couple $20 haulers that I got to drop onto the screen here. And let's see here. We got T-Dub in the building. T-Dub, appreciate you. And let's see here. Ron, I was just about to answer these super chats. Go ahead real quick. What's up, pal? How you feeling about Jaylen Warren?
Hey, so it's okay. They're still use both of them, so they're both doing really good. Jaylen Warren's dynamic, we know that, so that's great. But what I really called in about, and it was great that you're talking about them, where do the Bills go after firing their OC? I mean, you know, that's what the Steelers really need to do, is fire their OC. The Bills went ahead and did it, so the Bills are a hot mess.
Yeah, I mean, they are, but that's the, like, I don't know if you remember the offseason where I said the Bills and Josh Allen specifically are going to always be up and down. Like, that's the nature of not having a balanced attack. You know, in a similar fashion, but very different. The Steelers don't have, like, a dynamic, like, offense, right? You know that. Canada, the offensive coordinating is, you know, bland. And so if the Steelers defense doesn't win the game, like, if they need help from the offense, how much can the offense really help them? Like, that's similar in respect to, like, the run game for Buffalo. If the pass struggles at all, they could lose the game. Now, Buffalo did run the ball very well in this game. They need to get back to that and stick to it. But I think that there's so many things about this offense. Like, even when you, I don't know, a lot of it yesterday was just mistakes and penalties. I don't know that was necessarily you blame that on the coordinator, but I think they've been struggling for a little bit now. And Diggs hasn't been on his game. They haven't been, I think the play calls have been kind of shoddy, but they just got to put it all together. When the Bills run the ball well, like they did last night, the offense, the passing game's got to help a little bit. When the passing game is doing all the work, they don't run the ball at all. So I think the Bills need to balance it out. They need to balance it out consistently. Not, hey, we're going to run, and we're going to pass. Why not just mix it in? And I think that's why they made the move. They're like, we need a less predictable offense. because Josh Allen's forcing things into double coverage, triple coverage, because the defense knows they're not running the ball right now. We can tell when you're running the ball. We can tell when you're passing the ball, and they just pick the man off. I don't blame it on Josh Allen. It's funny because on my YouTube, I'll have comments like Josh Allen's mid, Josh Allen's garbage, and I'll read the comments, and I'm like, wow, you could buy low like crazy on Josh Allen. Then I go to Instagram, and I post, buy these 3 guys low, and everyone's like, oh, buy the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football low and Josh Allen. Not going to happen. It's so funny, the different worlds. People either hate Josh Allen, people either doubt Josh Allen, or they don't. But we'll see what happens.
I don't think he makes stupid mistakes. I mean, 2 interceptions yesterday, and you could say Gabe Davis, but he threw that ball behind Gabe Davis. He knows better. That was a bad throw. So when you make bad throws, stuff like that happens. So, it wasn't totally Gabe Davis's fault. It wasn't maybe totally Allen's fault, but it was Allen's fault because he threw it behind him. He's making bad decisions, and Cook looks a lot like Gibson, fumbling the ball. He's running strong, but he can't. He's having a hard time holding on to the ball. That's the other problem.
He's dribbling the ball down the field.
Away from
he thought he was playing basketball last night.
They got away from Kincaid. Kincaid was awesome. Kincaid was catching everything thrown to him pretty much, and they went away from him.
Yeah,
I didn't understand that either.
Yeah, Kincaid
anyways,
was.
I'll let you know. I just wanted to
Kincaid
comment on that.
If Josh Allen didn't have an easy pathway into the end zone on that touchdown run to give the Bills the lead, right at the end there before they lost the game, Kincaid would have caught a touchdown.
But it messed me up on the pick'em. I needed a rushing touchdown, not a receiving touchdown. Yeah. But it was good to see Javonte. Javonte's looking strong.
Yeah.
Javonte's looking good.
He looks smooth. All right, Ron, appreciate you.
On that note, we'll talk to you later.
Bye. On that note, what?
On that note, get to your super chats. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right, later. Okay. Anyway, let's see if I can get these. We got $20 haulers on screen. Howard, appreciate you, Howard. Howard with his $5 hauler. Let me see if I can get these $20 haulers on screen. Clayton, I got Clayton's on here. Atomic, did I get Atomics? Atomics is on here. D Dub or T Dub, appreciate your $20 hauler. Let's celebrate each one of these individually like they deserve to be celebrated. Clayton, first $20 hauler of the day.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Appreciate you, Clayton. Clayton says 12-team half PPR, 2 wide receivers / running back / tight end, no kicker. Made lots of trades this year. 5-5. Deadline is this week. Any moves should I make or hold? Mahomes, Eckler, JT, Jacobs, Diggs, Debo, Hawkinson, Lockett. I like this team a lot. If I'm you, I'm keeping pretty much every single part of this team. And I don't even necessarily trade Jacobs away because I still think he's going to be very productive now that they've made the changeover. Quarterback, GM, head coach across the board. But like, would I trade him for, given you got 2 RBs, and I'm fine with that. Would I trade him for Achane? Yeah. Would I trade him for Adams and like Keaton Mitchell? Yeah. Would I trade him for Kupp, Puka Nacua? Yes. And then that's when he gets about, even with every other player that's kind of left, in terms of the buy lows potentially. But Achane for sure. ETN London. Traded ETN in London for Chase and Pacheco. I like the Chase and Pacheco side quite a bit, my guy. You did a good job. Good trade roster. Recommendations 5-5. I like your team a lot. Chase, JJ, Lamb, Pacheco, Javonte, Kyler, Hurts. Good team. Only thing I'm trying to do is trade Kyler to the QB needy team and try and upgrade some way upgrade Pacheco or Javonte. And I like Javonte. I'm not trying to trade Javonte on the cheap, but I think Javonte and Pacheco could still be upgradable. Watson could be upgradable. Quentin Johnson could be traded. Pitts is upgradable. So throwing in, those players together to get one upgrade, Kyler specifically, it would be a good move. And that was a $20 hauler from you, my guy.
Alert.
T-Dub.
Super chat alert.
T-Dub, appreciate you. This one's from Atomic 20.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Atomic coming in strong. 10-team full PPR team is Herbert, Jacobs, Walker, Chase, Amon-Ra, Keenan Allen, Ingram. My bench is McBride, JJ Stevenson. Wow, that's I love seeing JJ on the bench. I love seeing when people have like that extra player like Achane or JJ just sitting there, and I think I'm done reading the roster, and then boom, I need to make a trade to get JJ in my lineup. Okay, so probably say, as much as I like Herbert, he's obviously good at incapable. He can be inconsistent, but he can also drop a big game like he did the other day. I would say Stevenson, Sutton, Stevenson, Sutton, Ingram. You got an extra tight end, man, with McBride and Ingram, and I'm starting McBride. I trade away. I go to the tight end needy team. I go to I try and upgrade Jacobs by a touch. Achane or Walker. Walker or Achane. Upgrade them into Eckler. Upgrade them into Achane. Upgrade maybe one of them into JT if you feel like JT's higher. ETN, if you still like ETN, I do. Using Ingram if they need a tight end. Using Sutton and Ingram if it takes that. Using potentially, who's your backup quarterback? Do you got an extra quarterback? No, okay. Stevenson. Using Stevenson, potentially Stevenson and Ingram could maybe even get you like an Adams without even moving Jacobs or Walker. But I feel like Sutton and Stevenson together for one player, and maybe that player is Debo, maybe that player is Sutton and Stevenson for Devonta Smith, Sutton and Stevenson for Adams, Sutton and Stevenson for Puka, Sutton and Stevenson for Breece Hall, Sutton and Stevenson for Tony Pollard. Take a chance with the house's money at that point. That's like playing with the house's money when you get Pollard that cheaply. Bums with a 20 and Hassan with a 20. Let's start with bump. Let's do bunk bed style. Let's push them together. Dollars on the left are going to Hassan. Dollars on the right are going to Bums.
Alert. Super chat alert.
I know you guys don't mind sharing the karate in the garage on that one. $20 hauler from Hassan, non-PPR, QB Murray, JJ, Olave, Amon-Ra, Kirk, Dell, Rice, Jacobs, Aaron Jones, Gibbs, Mitchell, Kincaid, 9th place. Team is 3-8, have 4 and 6 wins. Teams 3-8 have 4 and 6 wins. Teams 3-8. What does that mean? Feel like standing pat for trades. Yeah, I mean, look, Murray, JJ, Olave, Amon-Ra is very, very solid. Jacobs, Aaron Jones, Gibbs. I like your team a lot. Mitchell, you're gonna be fine. The only thing I'd even contemplate doing is Kirk or Olave or Dell to go with Jacobs or to go with Aaron Jones to upgrade them into a slightly better player. And I keep saying Achane because I mean it. I keep saying Eckler because I mean it. And Jacobs and Kirk or Jacobs and maybe even Jacobs and Olave for Eckler and something could even work. Or you've got JJ, Amon-Ra, Olave. I don't know if you start an additional flex on top of the 3 RBs. I don't know how big your lineup is. Then I would be very tempted to trade. Or if you start 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and an additional flex, you could start 4 wide receivers. I'd be tempted to trade one of the RBs like Jacobs or Aaron Jones for Kupp, Puka, Adams, to try and get that extra. Past that, Asan, I can kind of agree with you that maybe standing pat is good. You got a very good team. You got Mitchell coming on strong. You're going to have some lineup dilemmas, which is why I'd consider some sort of 2-for-1. And you've got Murray to upgrade. So, like, would I trade Jacobs and Murray for Mahomes? Yeah, you bet your bottom dollar. Would I trade Jacobs and Murray for Hurts or Josh Allen on the cheap? I go get Josh Allen while people are doubting that man even a little bit. Bums, appreciate you with your $20 hauler, my broski. Smitty, I'm 7-3. Team is Hurts, Achane, White, AJB, Devontae Smith, Hollywood, Debo, Olave, Kincaid, Ramondre. I also have Fields and Joshua Dobbs, Bigsby, Spears. Would you trade Hurts and AJ Brown for Kelsey and Mahomes? It's pretty even, man. It's pretty even. AJB's playing amazing, but the thing about it is you got to kind of like keep in mind that he can continue to play well, right? But also you're not giving up the points you've already accrued. So you got to like think to yourself, like right now, is Mahomes and Kelsey going to outscore AJB and Hurts? I mean, given the positional advantage of Kelsey, I don't hate it. But man, I mean, AJB is balling. I would say give me the Kelsey Mahomes side from this moment on, but boy, am I fortunate and feel blessed to have had AJB balling out the way he's been balling out. I just think from this moment right now, I would take Mahomes, Kelsey because of the positional advantage. But it's really tough, bro. It also depends on, I mean, you have Devonta Smith, you have AJB, you have Debo, you have Hollywood, you have Olave. You've got good wide receivers. You'll probably be okay. That's a tough one. It's a really, really tough one. I mean, Mahomes is so capable, bro. I think it's kind of a toss-up. I think the chat would kind of be divided on it, to be honest with you. I don't think that's something that the chat will be we won't all be consistent on. Which means it's pretty even. $20 hauler from Senor Rojo.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Senor Rojo coming in with a 20. Gotta say thanks. I'm not beating, but demolishing my league, he says.
To the moon.
He also says, Senor Rojo, last 3 weeks I won by at least 70 points each week.
To the moon.
And Senor Rojo also wants to reclaim, I've gone from 10th to 4th. Burrow, Swifty, Gibbs, Warren, Keaton Mitchell, Charbonnet, Bigsby, Lamb, St. Brown, Hopkins, Dell, JSN, Kincaid, McBride. You, my friend, have a potential tight end dilemma that you could trade out of and maybe try and upgrade. Let's call it a Hopkins. Upgrade Hopkins using the tight end. Go get an Adams or Cup or Puka or something along those lines. Or upgrade Swifty Boy into maybe, let's say, a JT or an HN or something along those lines. You have a phenomenal team. Senor Rojo, I commend you for your astute studying that you've done here, gaining your knowledge from the Fantasy Football Show College. Senor Rojo, to the moon.
To the moon.
Unbelievable story. I love hearing those comeback stories. JFam, $5, 8-2 trade. I would have Howell after the trade. I have Howell, Fields, T. Law, Eckler, Gibbs, Williams, Aaron Jones, Singletary. Dell, Watson, Cade Otton, Kincaid. I don't know what to tell you to do other than you're gonna have to bank on Fields or you could go Howell, but Eckler, Gibbs, Javonte, Aaron Jones. Yeah, you got a good team. I don't think there's anything to touch here. Your team's fire, bro. You're not going to trade really high. Like Tank Dell, given you have Chase and Hill, Tank Dell and Aaron Jones, or Tank Dell and Javonte for like Cup, or even Adams is tempting. But Diggs, like someone might sell Diggs low. Diggs hasn't been doing much, bro. Like Diggs is attainable, not dirt cheap, but attainable. Can we do an overall running back ranking rest of season? Klansky, not at the current moment, but we'll do something. I'll do a video on that. Maybe we need to do a mid-season running back and mid-season wide receiver, mid-season QB ranking video. We'll definitely do that. D. Foreman or, thank you for the super chat, by the way. D. Foreman or McKinnon for flex this week? Probably Foreman, but I don't love either option. Make sure Keaton Mitchell's not on your waiver wire and you're thinking about something else here and missing the boat. Hall or Olave for JT Puka? I would take JT and Puka and by quite a bit right now at this moment in time. Smokey the Cat, $2 hauler. Trade one of Breece or Gibbs and Najee to get JJ. Breece. I keeping Gibbs, bro. You got to keep Gibbs. You can't. But would I do that? Yeah, I guess. Yeah. But I'm only trading Breece. I'm not trading. This Warren news is great. Picked him up and Keaton Mitchell last week. Going to help me figure out the Pollard situation. Can I get a got him? Nice shot.
Got him.
You know, when you get both those guys on waivers, and I know you're watching this waiver show week in and week out, and I know you're seeing this over and over and over. You're seeing Mitchell on this running back column every single week, all season long. The preemptive shows, the 2 preemptive shows we did before week 1 waiver wire shows, the waiver wire shows after. Keaton Mitchell, Warren, constantly beating a drum on the Keaton Mitchell, Warren, and Achane all off season and early part of the end season. So glad to see you doing amazing things with that. Trade Walker for Devonta Smith and Ford. I think Devonta Smith's pushing it. I like him a lot, but that is very close in terms of if you were to trade away Warren. I would say if this Ford's pretty good though. If you're getting like Keaton Mitchell, who some might say they like Keaton Mitchell less than Ford, and some would say they like Keaton Mitchell more than Ford. I like Keaton Mitchell more than Ford. Like that kind of move is tempting. I think maybe if you feel good enough at RB, that's not the end of the world. But I do think we need to be careful not to get rid of Kenneth Walker too cheaply. We need to be very, very careful. We got a $50 hauler from I Haney. I Haney says, first of all, I Haney, you're a monster. $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
I Haney, you monster, you. Trade my Tyreek for Singletary plus Kincaid. Just kidding. Thank God. You see my hand? I went to go to take a lap button. I don't care if you're dropping a $50 hauler, $100 hauler, $8,000 hauler. I'm hitting the lap button on that one. My Pollard for Achane straight up. Hit it.
You've just been Smitty.
It is what it is. Achane to the moon. Top 5 overall player. I'm 9-1, sitting pretty, thinking Achane will produce more than Pollard. Of course he will. To the moon.
To the moon.
To Saturn.
To Saturn.
I Haney, excellent job. 9-1's amazing. Achane for Pollard's probably even more amazing. You pull this trade off, I don't know that you will, but if you pull this trade off, that's more impressive than your 9-1 record, my guy. But if anybody thinks he won't pull it off, I mean, just look at his record and you'll think twice about opening your trap against I Haney, because I Haney ain't taking no prisoners. $5 hauler from Senior Rojo with another one. With the Warren news, who do I start at my flex? Dell, Warren, Mitchell, Hopkins, McBride. Dell's safest, Mitchell's highest risk, highest reward. Senior Rojo. We'll probably have to decide that one later in the week, but there's no real clear, clean answer right now. $10 hauler from Not Like Aaron. Appreciate you, Aaron. 12-team, full PPR, 4 and 6. By the way, you get a moonshot when you drop a 10.
To the moon.
And you get a $20 hauler shot when you drop a $20 hauler or above. Howell wide receivers are Amon-Ra. I believe that's what AMA is. Amon-Ra, I believe. Higgins, Downs, London, Pickens, Watson. Running backs are Bijan, Mitchell, Achane. Tight end Andrews. Who can I trade to improve my look? I guess, man, I guess I would say, like, you got Amon-Ra. It's awesome. Higgins and Connor. Higgins and White. Higgins, Connor, White. That's your move. Or London if they don't want Higgins. London, Connor. London, White. London, White, Connor. You're just taking stabs at Kupp, Diggs, Tyreek Hill struggling. Let me try. Adams would be like not all three of them, but Adams, London and Connor, sure. London and White, sure. Connor, White, and London, maybe. Or Connor, White, Pickens for an Adams and just take a stab. I mean, you got the depth to maybe overpay. If I'm you and the trade deadline's approaching, I'd overpay just to get a big gun into my lineup. Smitty, what do you think? Someone is offering Hollywood, Mixon, Flowers for my Gibbs. Someone's going to give you Hollywood, Mixon, and Flowers for your Gibbs?
You've just been Smitty.
No, bro. Appreciate you, Maney. Maney, that's not angled toward you. It's angled at the trade offer. You tell him this.
You are offer sex. You are trade offer sex.
But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10. Isaac says Smitty is the Leonardo DiCaprio when it comes to running backs. Like some under 25 and low mileage. Well, I mean, who wants to draft a running back over 25, bro? I mean, Leo kind of knows what he's doing. So joke's on you, Isaac. But appreciate you. Anyways, Maney, Gibbs to the moon, bro. And that science that I just showed you should kind of support what I'm saying. Pollard and Kincaid for Pacheco and Higgins. No, bro. I get. Well, no, I get what's going on here. You're worried like crazy about Pollard, but the honest truth is Pollard still is worth right around what Pacheco's worth on his discount right now. Could Pollard vanish into the ether? Could they run Dowdle and Dowdle get all the work moving forward? Sure. But I'm trusting Pollard at this level, and you're giving up Kincaid also. I don't like that. I don't even know. Like Pollard for Pacheco and Higgins, maybe. We throw Kincaid in and it flips the script. I'm not trading Pollard and Kincaid at that level. Trade Aaron Jones and Stevenson for Pollard and Javonte. I would probably say, look, this is actually arguable if Stevenson bounces back and Jones stays healthy. But I'm going to take probably... Well, this one's close. Can I get a chat vote on this one, please? Can we get a chat vote here? Let's get a chat vote here. Joe Ortiz, Yo Smitty, what's this I hear about Warren? What do you think we're doing here, Joe? What's it look like? You think we're gonna start the whole show over because you showed up, Joe? Joe, we've been sitting here talking about it for freaking how long? And Joe wants to know what's going on with Joe. 53 minutes. Rewind. But I appreciate you being here, Joe. You know you're my boy, Blue. I ain't mad at you. I'm just letting you know. Go back 53 minutes, watch that real quick, and then flip back over here, and we got your back, Joe. Joe to the moon. I'll even send you to the moon to motivate you to go watch it. But I appreciate you.
To the moon.
Joe, I know, Joe. Joe, I'm just messing with you, but it is funny when people come in and go, "Hey, Smitty, what's going on? What are you talking about? Can you tell me? Can you recap me? I've only been talking for 53 minutes, Joe." What are we doing on this right here? Pollard side. I agree. Pollard side. I'm still not giving up on Pollard. I know people are freaking out on Pollard, but I'm gonna buy him low to the degree we're seeing the panic. Is St. Brown K9 for AJ B. Mitchell reasonable? I'd rather have St. Brown and K9. Look, I love Mitchell and what he could be, but you're buying him at at the price tag we're hoping he becomes. You can't do that. That's putting the cart before the horse, and that's getting overexcited, bro. Calm down a little bit. But I like where your mind's at. Should I trade Mitchell, Hollywood Brown, and Lamar for Ayuk and McBride? I have Tua and Kyler. No, I don't like this. I think you're look, I know you got the depth, but you don't just give it to somebody. You're like making this guy's team a lot better. Trade away K9 for the Slim Reaper, Devonta Smith, and Tony Pollard. Absolutely. K9 for Tony Pollard and Devonta Smith.
Got him.
That's disgusting. That's just straight up filth, bro. $5 hauler, 4 and 6, 10 team. Burrow, Barkley, Hall, Adams, Olave, McBride, Monty, Higgins, Hopkins, Kyron. Just traded Jacobs plus Kittle for Hall today. Thoughts? It's a little bit of overpay fair market value-wise, my guy. I mean, if anything, a lot of people might rather have Jacobs over Hall. I'm not saying I necessarily would. I'm just saying they're fair market value. They're even, if not, Jacobs has more value. And you gave up Kittle, who's killing it right now. I think you overpaid. Disapprove the trade. I do not disapprove you. But that is quite an overpay, my guy. Shoddy, appreciate you. In order, who do you like rest of season? Walker, Gibbs, Breece, Pacheco, Swift. Trying to trade Walker plus Kirk for Diggs. Good luck on that. If you get it, that's great. Separate league, Walker, Dak, and Moore for Chase. I would do that as well by a lot. And as far as the order, I would say Gibbs, Walker, Breece, Pacheco in that order. And then Swift. I still like Walker a lot. I think there's some opportunity to trade him before his rough schedule approaches, but doesn't mean we give him away. Trade away Breece for Tony Pollard and Mitchell. That one's a lot harder to do, but I might do it. I think I probably do it. I take Mitchell and Pollard. But that's tough. You're getting two players right there. If one craps the bed, the other one can still put up a fight. Trade Pollard plus Devonta Smith for Adams and Pacheco. I'd rather have Pollard and Devonta Smith by a hair, but that's really close. Now you're talking about splitting hairs. $2 hauler, PPR Bijan out, start B-Rob versus the Giants or Warren. I'm going to probably say Warren's your higher risk, higher reward, B-Rob safer. I think we'll know a little more, James, as we head into the week, what if Warren's going to get more work than normal, or it's going to be a split and he's just starter in name. But B-Rob is pretty safe. Henry Mayfield offer for my Pacheco and kicker Matt Gay. I'd probably say give me the Pacheco side, but I don't know. I mean, this could look. Henry's pretty solid, right? You know, he's not amazing. He's solid. He's not going to continue to play like he used to, but he'll have certain games where he has decent output. I'd probably say give me the Pacheco side just because I feel like they will use Pacheco more. But trade Javonte Williams for Pittman and Keaton Mitchell. I don't mind this trade if you need a wide receiver very badly, but Javonte could prove to be the best running back of the duo. Mitchell could prove to be. It's really up in the air at this moment. I think that's a tough trade to evaluate at this current moment in time. Pretty even. If the chat wants to weigh in, Javonte or Keaton Mitchell, Pittman and Keaton Mitchell or Javonte, please vote. Might have missed my super chat. It's okay. Reposting it here. 2 questions. Olave Hall for JT Puka. I'm sorry, B-Man. I don't know where it went. I'll go look for it. Olave Hall for JT Puka. Give me JT Puka. Also, do you like Gibbs or JT fantasy playoffs? I'd probably go Gibbs. B-Man, I'm sorry. You said you reposted it, so I guess I won't look for it, but I apologize. Let me send you to Saturn, at least to make up for it.
To Saturn. 2
super chats gets you a trip to Saturn. Pretty good deal, if you ask me. B-Man, appreciate you. Any Achan news? Achan is there's no update other than everything was going very much according to plan, and there's no thoughts that he'd be out for week number 11 or anything. Could he be limited? We could hear something like that. Vampy in the building, $10 hauler
to the moon.
To Vampy, and we send Vampy to the moon. Vampy 6-4, 12-team PPR. Any moves to make? I think I need a better wide receiver. QB Josh Allen, Love, running back Bijan Swift, Herbert, Javonte, wide receiver CD, Dell, Ridley, Watson, Laporta. I don't know that you can make very many moves without decimating, the team, other than like, can you trade Swift for Adams? Can you trade Swift for Devonta Smith? Can you trade Javonte for one of those guys for Puka or Smith or Adams? And then you get the wide receiver in there. There's really no other way. You could trade Bijan, but I'd much rather have you hold Bijan with Javonte if you're going to go a little bit risky at the running back situation, because Bijan's a little bit risky. So I'd rather you keep Javonte, who feels like he's coming on strong. That move I wouldn't mind doing. If you feel later you need to make a move, and I don't know that you do, because Josh Allen and CD together is a strong duo that can carry you. But you could try and divide and conquer CD into a slight downgrade at wide receiver. Let's call it like Adams, and then you get like an Achane and Debo, or Achane and Adams for CD Lamb. Like, maybe go poke around at the Achane owner and just see, but that's the only like kind of move I can imagine. Past that, I'd just do the wide receiver trade. Thank you, Vampy. Desperate 3-7 trade Jahan Dotson, Watson, and Kyron for DK and Flowers. No, I like DK a lot, but not that much. Kyron feels like a top 5 to 6 running back still, bro. You just waited on him this whole time. Like, you're about to trade him for half price right before he gets back. How do you see Pierce doing when he comes back? I don't know that he has a job when he comes back at all, bro. Like, even like 50% of the work, I don't know. Singletary might have run away with it. We'll see. If Singletary comes out, craps the bed next contest, then we'll know that there's an open door potentially. But Pierce looks like put a fork in him at this moment. $5 hauler, 12-man PPR, 1 flex Tua, Aaron Jones, Hall, Hill, AJB, Goddard, Javonte, benches Higgins, Cook, Bijan. Do I sell Tyreek plus a running back for JT and Hawkinson? No. I mean, keep Tyreek and then go get a different tight end, bro, rather than trade the world for Hawkinson. I don't trade Tyreek for that. Like, Cook could get you a tight end right now. You could go get a Kincaid or you could get a Kincaid type of player. I mean, some people don't trade tight ends though, but McBride, is he on waivers? I mean, just drop your entire fab on him. I mean, Cook should get you an RB or a tight end. Who's your tight end? Goddard. You're waiting on Goddard. Hit the waiver wire, bro. And I don't know if you've seen the waiver wire show, but here's the waiver wire order. I mean, check the waivers and see if Musgrave, Mayer's not bad right now. I think they probably use Mayer while you wait for Goddard, but I don't like this move in particular. I'm going to say no to it. Would I do something different? Yeah, but I'd have to see something a little stronger than that. Trade away Kenneth Walker for Achane. Achane's a top 5 overall player, my guy. Definitely. Need a wide receiver. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. This one's from Slayer, $5 hauler. Need a wide receiver. What wide receiver can I get with these guys? Ridley, Swift, K9, Pickens, Charbonnet, Fournette, Gibby. I don't know if I'm trading Gibby right now, bro. But like Adams for Swift, Puka for Swift, Devonta Smith for Swift. If you can't do that, throw in Ridley. If you can't do that, you could trade K9 straight up for one of those guys. I think I wouldn't go any lower than Devonta Smith or Adams, but I'd go higher than those guys if possible. Hurts, Achane, and keep Mitchell, Chase, Laporta. You have a very good team. I think if you land one of those wide receivers, you'll be in good shape. But I would definitely shop K9 for one of them wide receivers. Cooper Kupp comes to mind as one of the best options and a very decent buy low. Wave Runner traded Ferguson for Herbert and Pollard for Keaton. You way overpaid for Keaton, Wave. I mean, we love him, but you're buying him as if he's proven, and we're talking about him. The proof is coming. So you definitely overpaid. Like, I know you wanted to get rid of Pollard, but Pollard to me is still a very good buy low, especially when people react like this and they get rid of him for unknown product that could turn into something amazing for your team. Keaton Mitchell might be, and I believe he will be, but fair market value still commanded a lot more. As far as Herbert, I hope that's the quarterback, Justin Herbert, and not the running back. Wave, I don't mind the first one at all if you got Herbert as a quarterback going forward, but I definitely think you sold Pollard like he was trash. But that's okay because he might end up being trash. And even if you come back next week and say, Smitty, Keaton Mitchell for Pollard doesn't look so bad now, it's not about that. It's about fair market value. I still would have done it. I just would have gotten a Deebo Samuel on top of it. I would have gotten an Ayuk on top of it. I would have got something on top of it because it commanded that value-wise. Like, I still like where your head's at. I still like going after Keaton. It's actually one of my most phenomenal ways to get rid of Pollard. Keaton Mitchell on a Deebo, Keaton Mitchell on a wide receiver, and you get rid of Pollard if you want to get out of the Pollard game. $10 hauler from my boy.
The moon.
Who is this? Ninja, appreciate you. I have a plethora of running backs, bro. Bijan, Cook, Swift, Achane, JT, Mitchell. Going forward, probably rolling Bijan, JT, Achane. My wide receivers are worrisome. Ridley, Addison, Watson. Any moves? I mean, I'm trying to get rid of. You might need to wait a week unless your trade deadline is this week, but trying to get rid of like a Mitchell later for an Adams would be a smart move. Someone might do it if you put Pickens or Ridley in the mix. Yeah, Addison and Mitchell, but you have to sell Mitchell high. Oh, you got Swift and Cook. Okay, yeah. Trade Swift or Cook with Addison, Swift or Cook with Pickens, and get Puka, Kupp, Adams, Devonta Smith. All those guys are attainable for that package. Go do it live. You'll get one of those, I believe. I truly believe it, and you'll be set. Should I trade my Mitchell and Olave for Achane? Yes, if you like winning, Ivan, go do that. Achane to the moon. Anthony, appreciate you. $4.99 hauler, 6-4 QB. Allen, Gibbs, Pollard, St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, TJ Hawkinson, Devonta Smith, benches, keep Mitchell, Achane, London, Herbert. Any moves? Great team. I'm trusting Pollard unless you can get rid of him for like what we're talking about. Like, you're getting Mitchell and Deebo for Pollard. You're getting Mitchell and Adams, Mitchell and Puka, Mitchell and Devonta Smith, like something crazy like that. Pollard is somebody I don't want to give away. Garrett Wilson, you got Devonta Smith, you got Achane Keaton. You're good, bro. I mean, London and Garrett Wilson for a slight like Cooper Kupp upgrade. London and Wilson for Hall, ETN, Walker. London and Garrett Wilson for that kind of combination. Like Walker would be good. People are selling Walker. Pollard type player. This doubted for that combo. If it's me. Trade offer Kareem Hunt and Watson for my Achane. What do I look like, Perez? Somebody's going to sign off on a death sentence for your team? What are we doing? Watson and Kareem Hunt for your Achane? Oh, you've heard me say over and over, Perez, he's a top 5 overall player. Does Kareem Hunt, who's been scoring a lot, a touchdown in every one of his last 6 games, multiple touchdown game, in fact, he's scoring well. But does Kareem Hunt and Christian Watson, who hasn't shown up forever, sound worth it for a top 5 overall player of mine? Perez, I appreciate your super chat. I'm only going to be passionate. I don't care if you super chat or not. I'm still going to be passionate with my answer to let you know what direction to go in. And you got to take a lap on this one, Perez. But in that, take your lap with a smile on your face, pat yourself on the back, and say, I've got Devon Achane. But then slap yourself in the face so you remember it and don't trade him away for pennies on the dollar. Someone dropped Dameon Pierce. Is he worth the scoop up? It depends on who you're cutting, but in general, no. Swift Hunt for Bijan, of course. What do I look like? B141? Somebody that wouldn't take advantage of a person giving Bijan away at a garage sale? Smitty approved that trade 10 times over. Luca with a 5. Team is Josh Allen, Breece, Bijan, Chase, Ayuk, Dell, Hawkinson, Kyron. Believe in Pollard. Let's go, Smitty, to the moon. I like your team, bro. You let it ride. Get on your. That's the sound of you on your horse. I think your team's gonna come through, Luca. I stand down. I'm not saying that you don't agree. I'm standing down on that team.
Alert. Stand down order in effect.
Luka. That's the sound of Luka. Coming for his league mates. Everyone's looking back. Luka's coming. Luka! To the rescue! I just picture Luka catching up slowly. It's week 10. It's week 11. He's getting closer. It's week 14, 15, 16. Luka by a hair. $20 hauler from Who's This Monster? Colin, appreciate you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Colin, 12-man, 0.5. Team is Love, Fields, Olave, Cup, Ridley, Dell, JT, Gibbs, White, Kelsey, Singletary, Pierce. Just got offered Watson, Diggs, Monty for Love, Olave, Ridley, White. I would say just got offered Watson, Diggs, and Monty for Love, Olave, Ridley, White, Singletary. Take Diggs and run. Diggs and Monty? Holy crap.
You've just been...
That Diggs and Monty side crushes, Colin.
Got him.
I'm ashamed of myself that it took me a second read to figure that out because there's so many names. But Diggs and Monty, it crushes, bro. You got to do it and do it live, Colin. That's a league-winning move, my man. J-Fam, Javonte Williams and Ridley for Hurts. I'd rather have Hurts by a country freaking mile. I don't even care what the team is. I can't even trade that team in principle. Luka! $10 hauler.
To the moon.
$10 hauler from Ricky Turbo. Same thing. 6 and 4. Hurts, Hall, Bijan, Achane, JT, Chase, Amon-Ra, Kelsey, Kyler, Rice, Dotson. Hold or make a move. What are you going to do? How are you going to upgrade this team, Turbo? Yeah, I mean, this team is in full turbo mode. I would say, like, if you could get rid of Hall using Dotson or something, maybe, but I don't think you're going to. Get Tyreek for Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Chase, and Kyler. No, bro. Chase and Amon-Ra crushed just Tyreek. Yeah, just stand down, bro. You're thinking too much. Someone needs to take your lineup access away, change your password, and not allow you into it for the rest of the season. Set your lineup for week. Set your lineup for week 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, then log out. No, don't do that in case an injury happens, but you know what I'm saying, Ricky.
Alert. Stand down.
Don't try and fix what ain't broke, Ricky. Or Luka's going to come for you. Luke, watch out. Here comes Luka. I just picture a lot of you. A lot of my people that got Javonte. You got Achane coming back. You got freaking JJ, and you're all just sitting in 7th, 8th place waiting on these injured players, and it's just just on your horse, just coming for everybody. No one sees you coming. You're just racing through like a bandit. Need to start to Warren, Achane, Javonte, Connor. I go Achane and Javonte, but look, maybe later in the week we have a potential dilemma there and we start talking about all those guys, but Achane's a lock. Assuming we don't hear something negative about, oh, okay, he's not coming back or he's going to be on a total snap count. I have Gibbs, Achane, and Mitchell. Should I start all three and take out Dell? Again, we're waiting on Achane news, but in theory, this is not crazy. Would I start Dell over Mitchell for now? I think we come back to that one, Mac, as the week unfolds. But right now, high risk, high reward plays Mitchell. Dell's a little bit safer. Tommy, appreciate you. $10 hauler. $10 haulers get a freaking moonshot if I've ever seen one. $10 hauler. 10-man standard. 5 and 5. Mahomes, Pollard, K9, Breece, Javonte, Achane, Adams, Cup, Pittman, Andrews, bought Achane, Pollard, Adams in recently. Anything else? Or let it roll. I like this team a lot. Mahomes, Pollard, K9. You could try and trade Pollard if you want. You got Breece, Javonte, Achane, and Breece, Achane, and Pollard. You got a good squad. Adams, Cup, hard to upgrade. Pittman, you could upgrade Pittman. Pittman and Javonte, Pittman and Breece, Pittman and Pollard for Cooper Cup, Diggs type player. You got Cup already. Diggs, Jamar Chase. Look, Tyreek Hill's he's been struggling a little bit. It wouldn't surprise me if someone traded you Tyreek Hill for Pollard and like Pittman, or you get rid of let's see here, K9 and Pittman or something like that, and somebody gives you a Tyreek Hill or a Diggs or something like that. That's very, very doable. Past something around those lines, I think I would probably stand down. Should I trade Garrett Wilson and Pickens? Thank you for your super chat, by the way. Should I trade Garrett Wilson for Pickens and Garrett Wilson for Pickens? Can I read this right? Garrett Wilson and Pickens for Pollard. If you need an RB, it's not a crazy move. It's not like Garrett Wilson doesn't come with his downsides, So I don't mind you taking a gamble on Pollard if you need an RB that badly. Look, it's all about gambles at this point. If you can't win it without a trade, then you make a gamble. You take a gamble on a trade. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That it's a risk. He could go to the bench next week. He could get half his work taken away. This could be Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren with Dowdle, or it could be bounce back city. Tough to know, but it's a fair enough move if you need it. 7-3, half PPR. Got Burrow, ETN, Breece, Achane, Keaton, Rashad Spears, AJB, Diggs, JJ, McBride. Any moves? No, this team's great, bro. Burrow, the only thing you could even possibly... Look, you got ETN and Achane's fantastic. Only thing you could possibly upgrade at all is potentially do something along the lines of... I would say like Breece Hall and McBride, because you got two tight ends, tight end needy team, and you upgrade something. That's it. That's the only thing you can do. Maybe Josh Allen or Mahomes upgrade, using the tight end as well, that you have the extra tight end. Past that, unless you're getting Josh Allen or Mahomes or Hurts or something, then you just stand and pat. That's a good team. Tyler, $5 holler from Tyler. Tyler, my boy. Appreciate you, Tyler. 12-team half PPR. Allen, Kyler, wide receiver Diggs. Lost 4 out of last 5 games. Thoughts and moves. Allen, Kyler. Try and trade Kyler if you can to a QB needy team. Just gain a little value somewhere. Diggs, Ayuk. Try and upgrade Ayuk a tiny bit. That's it. Hall, Mixon. Try and upgrade Mixon a tiny bit. JT, Achane. Try and upgrade Hall a tiny bit into Eckler or ETN. Just using those little moves. Ingram. I don't know what other backup tight end you have. Yeah, it's Kyler. Would I trade Ayuk and Mixon for like Eckler, ETN, JT, or Achane? Absolutely. Would I trade Mixon and Ayuk for Cooper Kupp or maybe Adams? Yes. Adams and something. Try and get something along with that. Young, trade Barkley and Ridley for Adams. I would. Offered Kupp for Saquon and Singletary. I take Kupp. Trade Dell and Swift for Garrett Wilson. I would say no. I'd take Swift and Dell, but by a hair. It's close. $5 hauler, 5-5, 12-man. Any moves to make or stand down? Stroud, it's good. JT, CD, Almon, Kelly. No, it's a good team. Achane, fantastic. Stroud using... I don't even think you can trade anybody. There's no one really... No offense, I don't mean this in a bad way. You just either have big guns or nobody. You just have big names, nothing really in between. Like Ford, maybe. Ford and Stroud for a Mahomes. Ford and Stroud for a Josh Allen who's struggling. Ford and Stroud for Hurts. And then that's like kind of it, bro. Ford and Hall to somebody that needs RBs. They, maybe they give you like a Cooper Kupp. Ford and Hall for Cooper Kupp. For Chase, for Diggs, for something along those lines. And then this one right here from my boy Michael. Should I trade Dobbs for Keaton Mitchell? I have Tua. Absolutely, 100%. Keaton Mitchell to the moon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am out of here. Appreciate all my super chatters. I'll be back for the 8 p.m. show unless news breaks again. Call in for the $20 hauler. You straight up monster, Colin. I appreciate you for that 20 watt on screen, my guy. You absolutely rock. This one here is a $50 hauler from Haney. Haney, appreciate you. Senior Rojo with a $20 hauler. Appreciate Senior Rojo dropping the watt on screen. This is Asan with a $20 super chat. Thank you, Asan. Bums with a $20 super chat as well. Bums, appreciate you. If I'm missing anybody, please let me know. I'm sorry. T-Dub, $20 hauler. T-Dub to the freaking moon. Clayton with the $20 hauler, the first $20 hauler of the day. Atomic with the $20 hauler. Atomic, appreciate you, my guy. You were absolute monster. You menace. T-Dub, I said already. I think I got everybody covered. Thank everybody else for any super chats you dropped. You guys absolutely rock. I wouldn't be able to do this if it weren't for you. I have the best job in the world. Sitting here serving you NFL content, fantasy football content every single day. I don't know of a day we have not gone live. I don't think there's a day we haven't gone live. So, that gives me solace. As a human being, a fellow human being, there are certain things that I watch. Believe it or not, I kind of love watching like politics, and obviously I watch sports and everything too. But like, there are certain shows that I wish that I do watch. Even like Seinfeld, for example. I love Seinfeld. I love watching Netflix and TV, and like, let's say Seinfeld could come back and be on every single day. That would make my day. A new episode of Seinfeld every single day. My goal, I seriously, what drives me is to try and make something that's so enjoyable, and it's really up to you guys. You guys are the ones that decide if it's enjoyable or not, and you guys have a heavy hand being involved in the phone calls, the questions. My goal, my ultimate goal, is to make someone feel that same way, even if it's one person that says to themselves, God, this is like me having Seinfeld on every day. That's my goal for this show. I want people to feel like it's at least some peace and solace they have. They can get away from their day, get away from their stress. Even if you're trying to get away from fantasy, come in and listen to NFL football talk. I know we do a lot of super chats during the year, but in the off season, and we'll do a lot of super chats in the off season too, but we'll talk a lot of NFL football, a lot of rookies and such. Smitty, is Gibbs running back 1 this week against the Bears? He's a running back 1 every single week, and he's a Saturn man. He's not a moon man, he's a Saturn man, Joel.
To Saturn.
Put some respect on Gibbs. He's not a moon man anymore. He set off for Saturn quite some time ago. $5 hauler from Trone. Should I make any moves? Mahomes, Chase, Adams, Swift, Monty, Andrews, Debo. Very good team. I'm trading maybe Swift and potentially Swift and... I don't know. I don't think so. I'm going to tell you to go get Achane. Swift and Debo for Achane and something. Swift for Tony Pollard. Take a gamble there. Look, Swift's a gamble too. Swift and Dotson for Tony Pollard. I bet you that's doable. Swift for Puka. You may have had Adams. I don't remember what the team was now that I got rid of it, but Adams, Puka, Devonta Smith. Swift can get all those guys potentially, especially if you throw in a Dotson. I'll see you all at 8 p.m. Eastern, or if more breaking news happens. I appreciate you all. I'll see you later. We got one more super chat from Nate real quick. Nathan getting in right under the wire. Trone Force says I missed his super chat. Trone, didn't I just answer your super chat? Trone, I just answered your super chat like right this second ago. I literally talked for like 3 minutes on it, Trone. Are you behind on the stream, Trone? I like rewind just a couple minutes ago. I talk about trading Swift for a list of guys. Nathan have Hall, Jacobs, Walker, Gus, and Achane in a 0.51 QB flex. Currently have Herbert starting. Give Gibbs and Smith. Give Gibbs and Devontae Smith. For what, Nathan? I think he sent another one. Smitty, I meant to say trade was for Hurts. Okay, so Gibbs and Smith for Hurts. That's a lot to give for just a quarterback, but I mean, I love Jalen Hurts, but I think you did overpay fair market value wise. Like Gibbs and Smith are pretty damn good. We'll see how it pans out. I do think Hurts is going to score a boatload, my guy. Tron, did you see my answer or no? Where's Tron at? No problem, Nathan. And Turbo says I read his wrong. Turbo. Tyreek for AJB. Well, the slash, bro, it doesn't necessarily mean the same thing for other people. So maybe just type out and or whatever. I would say Tyreek is better than Amon-Ra and Jamar Chase in my mind. So I'm not trading Tyreek. I'd rather have Tyreek. If I could get Tyreek by throwing in Kyler, I would probably rather keep St. Brown over Chase, but just to give you all sides of that, depending on what side you're on, and now you know my take on it. Tron, did you get the answer or not? I'm looking for you, Tron, before I leave. I want to make sure you feel taken care of, Tron. But I did answer it. No worries, Turbo. I appreciate you. Chubbs, should I trade Kamara for Cooper and Achane? I would definitely. I like Achane better than Kamara. Should I trade Kamara for Cooper and Achane? You're getting both Cooper and Achane. You smash it. All right, I don't see Tron anymore. I don't think is Tron even watching the stream. Smitty, you missed my super chat. I sent a $5 super chat. I answered this one, Tron. I don't know if Tron went on another bathroom break, I think. He missed it when he went on a potty break before. Now he's on a potty break again. All right. Tron, I answered you in tremendous detail. Appreciate you all. I'll see you all later. Tron, appreciate you. Chubbs, appreciate you. Everybody, Nathan, appreciate you. Thank you for the final super chats. I'm out of here. See you at 8 p.m. Who should I trade Najee for? Little late there, Feather. I don't think anybody's trading for Najee right now, my guy. He just lost his job today. You're about 24 hours late. I would say, go try Keaton Mitchell. Later, Joe. Vampy says the Jets released Michael Carter. That's interesting. Maybe they'll use Breece Hall, maybe a tad bit more. Yep. Jets released Michael Carter, who heads to waivers. but the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10.